with our fourth session, which is a technical session where we'll have some interesting presentations being given. And the topic is Towards 2030, Data Centers as the Pillars of India's Digital Economy. In the recent budget, the government announced a tax holiday for eligible data centers and cloud infrastructure providers extending till 2047. Can digital public infrastructure like UPI and Aadhaar remain resilient and free if the underlying compute power is leased from global monopolies? If data is the new oil, can a nation be truly sovereign if its refineries are located on foreign soil? In this session, we will understand how data centers are transitioning from simple server rooms to foundation pillars of the Indian state. Please welcome our speakers in this session. Please give a round of applause and welcome our session chair, Brigadier Anil Tandon, Director General, BIF. Please give a round of applause and welcome Brigadier Tandon on stage. Please welcome our speakers in this session, Mr. Praveen Sharma, CEO, AA Plus Consultants. Please give a round of applause. Please welcome Mr. Kirtikar Ojha, CMO, Head Business Development and Government Sales, L&T. Please give Mr. Ojha a round of applause and welcome him on stage. Please welcome Mr. Avnish Vats, Head Information Technology, Techno Digital. Please give him a round of applause as he comes up on stage. And please welcome Dr. S.N. Gupta, Chairman, DigiGao Foundation. Right, I'll hand it over to Brigadier Tandon to take this discussion forward. And a simple request to all our speakers to please stick to the time. 10 minutes has been allotted to each speaker. Would request you to wrap up your presentations around the 8-minute mark so that if there are any questions, they can come to you. You'll have time to answer them. Thank you.
Thank you, Anisha. Good afternoon, everybody. Am I audible at the end? Okay, thank you. Yes, we are running a bit late, but instead of cutting short the time of the people who do make a presentation, I think I'll cut short on what I'm going to say. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being with us from since morning and continuing to be with us. We've had a galaxy of speakers in the morning and in the subsequent sessions. Morning 3 sessions that we've had have been devoted towards the subsea cable, and those of you who were with us in the morning would have realized that last year we did the first subsea cable, first international subsea cable. This time we have dovetailed the subsea into the data centers or the cloud because of the huge interlinkage with it. So this session now is on the data center, which is towards 2030, data centers as the pillars of India's digital economy. I welcome all the speakers, starting with Mr. Praveen Sharma, Dr. S.N. Gupta on this side, then we have Kirtikar Ojha and Mr. Avnish Vats. I look forward to their valuable inputs as to how data centers can become the pillars or are the pillars of the India's digital economy, and how we can work towards making these pillars stronger so that effectively they propel the Indian digital economy to the 1 trillion mark that we've been aiming to achieve by 2030. As luck would have it, this event is just a couple of days after a week-long of hectic activity in India, in Delhi, wherein we had the India Impact AI Summit. I think one of the biggest functions is much bigger than what the IMC has been. And what one sees is a close correlation between what came out in the AI Summit to what we are going to discuss today. I think after the AI Summit, it became very clear that data growth, AI is going to bring, number one, AI is going to be all pervasive, And with the AI coming in, the data growth is going to multiply, I do not know how many X times. So if data is going to grow that much, there is going to be need for huge amount of capacity on the data center in India. Well, where are we today? Although we generate about 20% of the data, our current data center capacity is only about 3%. So therefore, there is a need, obvious need for more and more data centers. These data centers really, once the AI comes in, one of the estimates from McKinsey says that by 2030, 70% of the data center capacity would be taken up by AI elements. So today you have data centers which, in a way, AI is still new in India. It's there, but I don't think it's being used to that extent. But if huge use of data center comes in and 70% of the capacity is going to be due to the AI, then it just tries to lay down how much of data center capacity would be required. We have made, as somebody said, it's not gloom and doom as in the previous session. So as of early 26, India is ranking 9th globally with about 1.6 or 1.7 gigawatts of capacity. And it's a remarkable leap from about 540 megawatts in 2019. But as it has been brought out in all the, as there is a concentration of the subsea cables, similarly, there is a concentration also of the data centers, primarily maybe Navi Mumbai, Bangalore and Chennai, Hyderabad and Chennai. So one is, of course, the diversity of this, which will have to be taken into account as we as the data center build-outs take place. What the aim of this discussion today is basically is that, and starts from the, if you heard Ajay Chitkara also, whether it is for subsea or for data center, there are a lot of announcements that have been made in terms of what capacity of data centers is going to be put up. Some estimates say it may go up to 8 gigawatts by 2030. Some say it's about 4. But even if it is 4, it is more than double than what we are today. So the announcements are there, the commitments seem to be there, the intention seems to be there. Now, what we have to look at and what we will look at the people who are going to talk to you is what do we need to do to make it happen? What is it that will ensure that we are able to achieve, whether it is 4 gigawatts or 8 gigawatts by 2030. So that is something, because as a think tank, we prepare key takeaways from each of these conferences. So whatever comes out of this, and subsequently we'll throw it open to the public also to be able to comment on that. And that is something we would put it up to the government as we go forward. I think I'll leave it at that and start with the, inviting people to come in. Let me first request Mr. Praveen Sharma. So may I have your thoughts on this?
Thank you, sir. Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. I'll speak mostly from the perspective of policy when it comes to data centers, and please give the first slide. So right now the data center capacity is about 1.4 gigawatts to 1.6 gigawatts by various estimates. And this means that you have got 22 million square feet area. And if you see the capacity distribution, Mumbai is about 700 megawatts, Chennai is 250, then come Hyderabad about 150 to 200, then Bangalore at 130, then Noida at 100, and others at 60 to 80. This is a broad distribution. So if you see, the data center capacity is largely distributed in terms of where the submarine cable is terminated presently, which is Mumbai and Chennai. Mumbai and Chennai are the basic two places. where you have got the concentration of data centers, understandably, because the NLD infrastructure in the country is not that reliable, and therefore we require new and new NLD infrastructure, which is now being laid by various players, which is actually the need of the day. Secondly, if you see what are the targets up to 2030, by various estimates, 6 gigawatts to 10 gigawatts, sir, including the announcements which are made in the AI summit. And if you see the submarine cable systems, everybody has been saying that there are 17 systems, 18 systems. But if you see from what are the systems which have been commissioned after 2005, 10 to 11 systems only, sir. So actually you require the new submarine cable systems to come. Thanks to the engine operators, thanks to the Google's, Facebook, and all other players that we are getting, and there are other submarine cable systems also which are coming up. So apart from Mumbai and Chennai, you require diversity in terms of cable landing stations, and wherever the diversity is not possible, you require NLD infrastructure, either a new NLD infrastructure which is freshly laid for the purpose of interconnecting, or you require a domestic submarine cable system so that you have got a fault-free system wherein the high functionalities like AI needs to operate. Now, coming to the problem, we are saying that by 2030, I want these 7, 6, 7, 8 submarine cables to get commissioned, and I want additional 4 gigawatts or 7 gigawatts of data center capacity. So what are the policy issues which are there, which we require to surmount in order to achieve both the objectives? But both are coterminous, sir. If you have data center buildings in place and you don't have the submarine capacity, then it is of no use, sir. So you require both the infrastructures to come up within those 3 years, and that is where it is a tall order, sir, and it requires groundbreaking reforms to take place in terms of the clearances time period which are there, sir. So let us come to that now, sir. I'll go to the next slide. Please change the slide. Yeah. So India is actively transitioning from a net consumer of digital services into a global infrastructure powerhouse for digital. So all this is given. All the announcements have been made, and this is a given. So what are the factors? The factors have already come in the AI summit, and we know that India is going to become an AI hub at least in the Asia Pacific region for the entire world. And that is one thing which we are all proud of. But in order to make it happen, so that if somebody is investing in India, his investment is appropriately utilized, both in terms of the infrastructure as well as the services which they intend to make. Government has taken certain policy measures. If we come to the next slide, yeah. So the key drivers, AI and cloud search, digital public infrastructure, that is 5G deployment, which gives you bandwidth, then edge computing, and that data sovereignty, where domestic storage of sensitive financial and personal data has been promoted. So this is all promoting the growth of the data centers. Then if you see the policy landscape about the data centers, it started with a draft data center policy by MITI, and later on TRAI gave recommendations in 2022, and in 2025 MITI has also floated a draft data center policy which was not finalized, but the measures came in terms of the last budget. There were certain incentives which were given. So if you see, the building block was TRAI recommendations of 2020, and their status is given, the development of India-specific standards, which is still the work in progress. Proposed data center incentivization scheme for both fiscal and non-fiscal benefits. Data center has been declared, above 5 megawatts have been declared as an infrastructure. Establishment of a national single window system, although this is not established in all the states, but some states are proactively giving the approvals for data centers. Creation of a data center readiness index, and sustainability promotion of green data centers through renewable energy incentives. So these were the recommendations of TRAI, which by and large were this thing. Now coming to the budget of 2026-27, the fiscal incentives which were given. 2047 tax holiday. That is 21-year tax holiday was given to foreign cloud providers if they are providing services to the customers in foreign countries, provided they host in government-approved data centers in India. That is a very groundbreaking thing which government has done for the first time, a 21-year tax break. And it indirectly supports the data centers because the foreign cloud providers have to host in a India-approved data center. Then a reseller mandate, foreign cloud companies hosted in India and serving Indian users must operate through an Indian reseller entity, empowering domestic system integrators and managed service providers. And thirdly, again, a very important thing, that normally on a corporate taxing, government doesn't issue any guidelines. But here they have said that if the captive India data center subsidiary of a global hyperscaler declares a 15% margin on its cost for the services it provides to its foreign parent company, the tax authorities will accept it without detailed scrutiny. This is very important, that if a foreign major is establishing a data center in India through its Indian subsidiary and it is declaring a 15% profit margin on its cost, no questions asked. So this is kind of a blank check in terms of taxation. All these reforms are very important and they are complementary in terms of where we want to go in 2030. These are very important and they are path-breaking. In fact, 2021-year tax holiday, I think, is the first in the Indian history. It has never been given. Similarly, reseller mandate is very natural, but safe harbor, again, of 15% margin in a corporate taxation is unheard of. Again, it's a first. Then there is a negative list. DPDP Act prohibits cross-border transfers of specified sensitive data categories, creating a legal mandate for onshore storage. This I already covered, fiduciary duties and penalties. Telecom Act again has given a clarity about the internet telephone exchange, internet transit exchanges, how they have simplified the creation of IXPs through a simplified licensing regime which is going to come. Then again, MITES framework, infrastructure status has been given to data centers in 2022-2023 budget. Single window clearance, although it's implemented in some states, not in all, it is desirable. If we want to achieve the objective, then it is desirable. Some of the states like AP, Telangana, these states are proactively soliciting the investment as well as doing the approvals. But in some other states, it's not happening. So there is a requirement to introduce uniformity in the approvals across India. Then data center economic zones, again, there is an automatic approval, pre-cleared land parcels are there. And then sovereign AI initiative is there under the Semiconductor Mission 2.2 to reduce the GPU import dependency. So for a permanent establishment exemption for a foreign cloud provider, if it is providing the services only to the foreign customers, the domestic reseller opportunity I have already covered, then financial certainty of 15% tax only on the margins. Need of the hour, ease of doing business, data centers to be treated as a separate building infrastructure with dedicated rules, including bylaws, pollution board, etc. State-specific permits and approvals, it needs to be streamlined by NSWS, that is the National Single Window System, or state-level single window system to expedite approvals. Timely implementation of policy incentives with a centralized monitoring system at center. Promoting self-regulation and global standards. Do not impose any standards. Do not impose any Inspector Raj if you want the data centers to grow. That is very important. To give you an idea, for each gigawatt of data center capacity, you require 8 to 12 million square feet of area, 10 to 12 buildings. And if you want to go to 8 to 10 gigawatts or increment, have say 6 gigawatts increment by 2030, you can calculate how much of infrastructure is required to be built. It's a huge, humongous task. It's not an easy job. And if you couple it with Inspector Raj, then I don't think we are going to achieve any of these objectives. So the time of the need of the hour is that we need to simplify environmental clearances, the other clearances which are there for data centers. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Praveenji. Thank you very much for bringing out the various facts and the actions to be taken. And certainly, license Raj will not work if we have to meet the aims and the targets that are there. I now request Mr. Kirti Karoja to maybe give us a different perspective on this.
Namaste. So 10 minutes, very precise. I'll try to be as precise as possible. So my name is Kirti Karoja. I'm the CMO and Government Business Head for Larsen & Toubro Vyoma. We are a data center cloud AI company. And so Sharma ji has covered a lot of things already. I'll not cover this. These are figures that you get on Google. And so we feel that it will be greater than 5 gigawatt. Let's see how it goes in the next 5 years. So in one of the interviews, Saurav Ganguly told about Sachin Tendulkar that we all knew that this guy has immense talent. That's not important. What the person did with the talent was the story of Sachin Tendulkar. So the point is we all have talent. What do we do with that? So we know that data center is important. What are we going to do with data center is important. I don't know how many people know that the kind of power data centers are driving the Indian economy or world economy is humongous. We don't discuss about that. Not that I work in a data center company, so I'm saying that. Because the cloud, I remember I was in 2010-11 where we launched cloud for the first time in my previous company, and people didn't believe what cloud is all about. And people said, and I remember there was an event in Oracle's global CEO came and said, cloud will not fly. And today, Oracle Cloud is functioning. So the point is, whatever you say or opine, the flow of technology, the flow of life cannot be stopped. And we have gone into a phase of cloud, and today cloud has become a necessity, be it Swiggy, be it Zomato, be it Ola, Uber. All your lifestyle is dependent on cloud. What do you eat, what do you drink, what do you watch, everything is now in net. Though we talk about privacy, that's besides the point. Point I'm trying to highlight is data centers are hosting cloud. So when you need a cloud, cloud resides on a server, and the server resides into a data center. Today, this is what is happening in AI piece as well. I remember people used to say कि interview crack करना है तो अपने sentence में हर sentence में cloud डाल दो तो interview में crack कर लोगे. And I think वही AI के साथ हो गया है. So currently we are talking about the AI, we are talking about the physical infra, we are talking about physical infra means data center and edge. We are talking about digital means CPU, GPU, cloud. I'm rushing, I'm sorry for that because I had to because it's, and then you have a cloud, CPU cloud and GPU cloud. Now GPU you can be offered as a bare metal service. I hope people know that all the AI workloads sit on GPU better. So the GPUs are costly and NVIDIA is earning a lot of money. Yes, they should. They have came out with this brainwave. But today we are offering GPU as a bare metal service. If you want to have any AI workload, you can come and host on my cloud. People said AI will eat away jobs. I don't think so. Jobs will be rebadged. You have to reskill yourself. You have to ask your children, your brothers, your sisters, whosoever, yourself, to come with some AI courses. You cannot avoid studying, whether you are 50, 60, 30, 40, 10, 12, 15, whatever age you are. This is a constant learning that you have to do. That's my humble input. And AI today will be contributing more than double digit in the next 5 years to the national GDP is my take. That's okay, I'll skip this. So there are 7 layers of AI, which Ashwini Vaishnaw, Honorable Minister, said to the IMF chief. And what we are trying to do is, we are trying to cater to the entire 7 layers of AI journey from Larsen & Toubro. We have been a nation builder, the longest, the tallest, the brightest structure we have been building. Today we want to be a contributor to Viksit Bharat's digital economy by building physical data centers, digital infra in terms of CPU, GPU, cloud, and we have partnered with a very, very sharp minds in the industry who are doing a lot of great work in AI field and stitch an entire end-to-end full stack services from a physical infra to an AI workload. By the way, there are a lot of interesting work which is happening on the AI field, which I discovered in India AI Summit. So this is how it is. I put my company's name, but that's okay. Central point. So data centers are the central thematic of any technology that you talk about. Any technology resides inside a data center, be it IoT, be it 5G, 6G, because any servers, compute, storage, cybersecurity that you need has to go inside a data center. And today's data center are getting complex day by day. You need to have, the people are talking about even 100 kilowatt of one rack, which means what? It means it's a power guzzler. For that, you need to have multiples of megawatt of power capacity. To manage that, you have to have an innovative cooling technology. I was studying in the top 20 countries that use and consume power, Google is 7th number. That means Google, after 190 odd countries, consumes more power than the sovereign nation. So this is the intensity that we are talking about, ladies and gentlemen. I'll move forward talking about, so we have put up a lot of edge data centers that we have from Larsen & Toubro. We have got large data centers in Chennai and Mumbai. We are coming out with the Bangalore, Hyderabad. We have done a Bhumi Pujan in Mahape because we see a lot of work happening on this piece, whole lot of activity you'll be seeing in this piece going forward. We all know conversational AI, agentic AI platform. We are building whole lot of services stack on this. So we are starting with, so we call it Vyoma AI ecosystem. We have got, again, data center, CPU, GPU, cloud. Then we have got agentic AI platform. We have got legal tech. Today we are talking about AI in legal, which can cut down your cost and your accuracy in terms of your charge sheets for police or the judgment from the judges. America has adopted AI as a charge sheet can be filed on AI now in legal. And then we have got a no-code platform. We have healthcare. Whole lot of things are happening. I'll take one session to talk about healthcare. There is so much of work which is happening on that part. And then quantum. Quantum, you keep an eye on this. Quantum is going to rise in the next 5 to 10 years in India. Because China and our neighbors are acting, and quantum can break into any computer network. So if India has to maintain its cybersecurity, they have to come with a unique cryptography for quantum per se. And there are a lot of work is happening on that part. Short, I don't know, sound please.
A next-generation cloud and GPU platform powering the intelligence of tomorrow. An ecosystem designed to enable agentic AI, healthcare innovation, legal intelligence, no-code AI platforms, data lake platforms, and quantum computing. Complemented by Blueverse. Our comprehensive AI-native ecosystem, we unify advanced initiatives from humanoids and robotics to connected mobility. Intelligence moves seamlessly from core to edge.
It was a schematic thing. I knew I had 10 minutes, so I'm very particular about timing. What I'm trying to tell you is this, that the data center is the powerhouse of any technology. You need to have any services, starting from robotics. Larsen & Toubro Mindtree, our group company, is doing a robotic arm. We are talking about robotic site inspection, construction inspections, and whole lot of things which is happening. Everything resides into a data center. So when you build a data center, it's not a pure colo. You're building up a digital platform which drives the national economy, is my point which I'm trying to highlight. During the India AI Summit, we signed a very strategic deal with NVIDIA and L&T, signed a deal. We are intending to create a gigawatt factory now for AI compute. We believe now that AI compute power will be quadrupled or multiple times now what it is today. As and when you are growing as an economy, I think by next 2 years will be third largest economy. All this entire gamut of economic activities has to reside on an AI platform. For that, you need a high compute power. And for that, you need to high storage data lake. For that, you need to have a high cooling technology. So we have signed with NVIDIA. We'll be launching in the next 6-7 months the entire GPU compute power, what we call as AI gigawatt factory. Uh, yeah, it's explaining more on the deal, so I'll skip this. And we have signed a MOU with Gujarat government. This happened in the India AI Summit, so I just mentioned this. This is how state governments are promoting data center investment. There is a place, smart city called Dholera, where they are planning to have a whole lot of data center parks. Even UP government is talking about, whole lot of governments are talking about. So in a nutshell, a data center is a pillar, and we should be proud that we are part, and today, Indian operators like us, all the Indian operators are building world-class data centers. I remember during the time when I was 2005, 2006, people used to go to Hong Kong, Singapore, and host their servers. Today, they are available in your country at a much better rates and much better infra. In London, it was called 40 years back, IT hotels. So data center was like an IT hotel. When you go inside a hotel, you don't talk about which AC or which pillow or which mattress. It is the end services that you get, the output as a service. So that is what the entire wrap-around services which is being offered as end user from the data centers. Any questions? Otherwise, I'm bang on 10 minutes. Any questions, or I'm here, you can connect with me.
We'll take the questions at the end if you don't mind. Somebody has raised a hand, but we'll take it at the end. Thank you, Ms. Roja. I would now request Mr. Avnish Vats to kindly make his presentation.
Till the time PPT will come up. So, good afternoon, everyone. So, I must start with this. Subsea cable connects continents. Cloud platform scale digital infrastructure. But data center that makes it possible. If I will take an analogy, all these subsea cables are the artery of global internet, and data center are the organs that make it function. So my peer colleague, peer panelist has give insight on overall data center landscape. So I will just add one more thing. Total number of data center across the globe are more than 10,000, right? 10,800 precisely, out of which 4,500 in US only, which covers 40 to 45% of the global capacity. Second largest is UK, and nearly Germany approximate 500. It's 1/8 or 1/9. And India comes to the 9th or 10th position. However, we are having a 1.4 billion population, and we are technology advanced and like growing exponentially. Still, we have just 270 data center. However, we have grown a lot. So this is the scenario of data center. If we will see the connectivity per se, we have a 14 landing station, 17 global submarine cable connected that are majorly hosted on the 5 major coastal cities. So if we will see, we are well connected, but still the digital footprint of India doesn't match with the digital ambition. So this is the gap between the connectivity and then compute will decide the next era will be digital economy or not, because there are a lot of things need to be seen. If we will see, oh, yeah, I'm pushing it on, oh, right. So if we will talk about any cloud, cloud has become a default infrastructure for any of the data center, right? So all the various applications where it is a digital payment, where any ERP or AI model, everything comes with the data center only. But if we will see connectivity, that is the there 95% of the internet traffic through subsea cables. So if we will see the true scale of digital economy is defined by the strength of infrastructure backbone. These are the two major things which we need to see. Yeah. So if we will see, if any request came by the user, right? I have just given an example, 45% of the concentration is in US. And we process 25 to 30% data from India. Means there are a lot of data which flows through these global cables. So we need to see these provide the links, but ultimately actual value comes into the data center where all applications are running. Because these are converting into these value. These are the asset which we are thinking like making India as a digital economy. Yeah, we all talk about AI, right? So I will not cover whatever my peer colleague has already been spoken about. So if we will see certain, you can say statistics, Google is investing $15 billion, right? So definitely there is something big is coming. All hyperscaler are investing billions of dollars across the globe. And India is the one which cannot be bypassed by all these investments, right? All these investments, something or other, definitely our ecosystem will be built and we will be get benefited. We need to be ready for that. If we will talk AI, AI is not a software revolution. It is an ultimately infrastructure multiplier. If we will talk about any AI, so the infrastructure which are basic infrastructure cannot take that AI workload, right? If we will talk about all these, you can say statistics which already been covered, so I will just escape it. So now I am coming to that, all these hyperscaler are concentrated to various cities. We have already spoken Mumbai, Chennai, Hyderabad, Bangalore and Noida. Now it's the time to distribute that load, distributed architecture, because latency is the something which is very, very critical nowadays. There was a time I remembered around 15 years back, if any web page is not opening, we used to wait. But right now we don't have time. If it is not opening, you have other way and means to get that information. So we need to be very, very particular about the latency. That's the edge infrastructure. And third most important component is the reliable power, right? So if we got that opportunity, our organization represent in the PTC. So that was in US. So the challenge in the US, not land, not technology, they are struggling with the power. If they are applying for an power, they are waiting years and years to get that power. Everybody is struggling for that. When we put that pitch, Techno Electric and Engineering is my parent organization. We have expertise in power, 40 years, 50%. I am proud to say that 50% of transmission infrastructure of India is built by Techno Electric. So that kind of expertise we have. We know the power infrastructure better. Why Mumbai is challenged at this point of time? Because the total capacity of Mumbai grid is 3200 megawatt and 600 to 700 megawatt is consumed by the data center. If you will build multiple data centers in Mumbai, that grid is not sustainable. Reason being that grid and power is the regulatory thing, and it is governed by central state, right? It is not something you get the land, you get the connectivity, but power is the something which is crucial for India as well. That's why all these infrastructure is being distributed. So as an Techno Electric, we tie up with the Railtel, and as a partner on revenue sharing basis, we are building 102 edge data center. So edge data center idea is why every load should come into the metro only. Like all the population are coming to the metros, and then traffic you can see in the metro cities. We have to struggle for many hours to reach one destination to another. Similar situation will come in future when AI workload would be there. So that distributed infrastructure need to be built. Out of these 102 edge data center, 5 we are working on, that is in Gurgaon and Mumbai, right? And other data center we are coming up. So ultimately the goal of these infrastructure is this should be AI ready. What required that for being a data center AI ready? It's a power consumption, number one, because cooling is very much required. So that cooling infrastructure should be very, very strong, and connectivity. These are the 3-4 major things that we need to see. And water is another issue for the globe, not only in India. So we need to see the technology which can save that water, and we can equally cool that infrastructure. There are another technology are coming up where rear door exchanger, and we are talking about DLC, however long way to go for that. But ultimately these technologies are available, that is being adopted. If we would have to run that AI infrastructure into India. All these technology, all these infrastructure has to be integrated hand in hand. So, this is our Chennai data center, where it is 36 megawatt. So we are a new entrant to the data center. However, being an EPC company and power experience in power, we try to build it one of the, I think, iconic data center in terms of all the measures we have taken. We build 1100 kV substation into the this campus and get the two different connectivity from two different substation. We are sourcing green power to that data center, and we claim that 80 to 85% power we can source from green. That is the need of an hour. That actual benefit to the customer, if you are sourcing that green power, that would be the one of the next thing which we have to be there for that sustainability point of view. That was my point. Definitely, India is absolutely ready, and India's digital infrastructure, all the partners who are working on, everybody is, I am attending various conferences. So in the AI summit also, data center was the one of the subject because AI runs on the data center. All these pointers were there, and all the partners are on the same page, and they are working towards that. The idea is to build that infrastructure that can sustainable, and it should be AI ready. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Avnish, and thank you for completing in time. Before I call, let's go ahead with it. We now call upon Dr. S.N. Gupta, is Chairman, DigiGov Foundation, and I think what I know of it, that his presentation is going to be quite different from what the other people on the dais have spoken. So over to you, Dr. Gupta.
Thank you, Anil ji. With your permission, can I speak sitting like this? Thank you. So my presentation, please. And yeah, I can change it if. So thank you. It's indeed a great pleasure and honor for me to be invited to make this presentation, and I'm thankful to Chairman Anil ji as well as my colleague Parveen Bhai, who have made my job very simple actually. Half of the things they have already covered, especially Anil ji covered about the statistics, of course, and later on it was also done by Avinash, and as well Parveen mentioned about all the regulatory issues and tax issues which have come, and that I'll be able to use my time more productively, and as mentioned by the chairman, it will be different because I'll not like to repeat. In fact, that time I like to save. To start with, of course, this already have been covered in the statistics, so let me skip this. And this is where I'll just start what will be different actually. Since morning we are hearing about the submarine cables and data center, hyperscaler, how many gigawatt is required, when it will be what, and role of power supply, and mainly for the big cities like Mumbai, Chennai, Cochin, and the new one which are coming are Vizag, that also is quite big city. And so it is all happening in the tier 1 and tier 2 cities, but nobody is talking about tier 3 actually. That is what I'll bring to the table. As far as these concessions are given, Parveen already covered it, but I'm bringing a concept of edge data center which was touched upon by these Avnish also. And then there is a concept called state data center, that is called SDC. It is also a category of edge data center. Edge data center means you are nearer to the user, nearer to the consumer. It's based on the principle of edge computing. So it will be in maybe tier 2, tier 3 cities only. It will be smaller in size. Its requirement of power will also be less actually. Its requirement of space will also be less. So that is what we will concentrate. Recently in the budget also, like a lot of concessions were given to the data centers, which was very well elaborated by Parveen. But there was one more thing which Honorable Finance Minister mentioned, and that was a great thing about the edge data center. She mentioned a new category of data center through what is called REIT. That will be the main topic of my presentation. REIT is Real Estate Investment Trust. Actually, as we are mentioning, for data center, you need land, you need water, you need power supply, you need connectivity. So, and the data center go where all these things are there. But those have become crowded. So when you go to the other tier 2, tier 3, then also we look for whether all these things are there. And we go only there. But then there is one more thing required, and that is the money. Actually, morning only I was reading about Groundbreaker, the new book by Kamal Rekhi, our great entrepreneur in Silicon Valley. Kamal Rekhi mentioned that money finds its way, go away from you. And I always say that money, you can never have enough of money. And that is the problem of edge data centers also. All the money is going to this gigawatt and above. Whatever is commitment have been made, someone wants to create a 1 gigawatt data center, other want to create 3 gigawatt data center, needs billion of money, billion of dollars. They have that, so all the money has gone there. So you have no money to do a edge data center in tier 2 and tier 3 city where it is more required actually. And that is the concept I'll show. And that is a SEBI approved concept called REIT, Real Estate Investment Trust. It's a subcategory of Infrastructure Investment Trust, InvIT, which came in 2015 in the country, started with the InGrid, power grid equivalent, and they have created a parallel to the power grid through InGrid. Then it was used by our Honorable Gadkari Saab, also in NHAI REIT was done. And then the REIT came in the real estate actually, and they did a great job. But still data center was not helped by that. Last year only, SEBI came with a new category, a subcategory of REIT, and that is called SM REIT, small and medium REIT. And that is what we'll see how it will help the data centers actually. And if you go more actually here, and these are all, Parveen, you have already covered, I'll be skipping these things. And next is this, actually this is what I did a research about the SDC, state data centers. There is a policy of central government that each state should have at least one sovereign data center, state data center in each of its district. So when I counted the districts, about 650 of them are there. Each district will be in either tier 2 or tier 3 cities. Each district will need about at least a data center of 1 megawatt. I'm not talking of gigawatt now. Megawatt, 1 to 5 megawatt only. And it is doable. And with that also you will meet a gap of 1 gigawatt. 1 gigawatt, because since morning we are learning, we are 1.5 gigawatt only, everything put together. By 2030, we need to be 8 gigawatt. So that 8 gigawatt, maybe 6 of that will come from these big brothers. So still 1 gigawatt is still a gap to be met. And that is what will happen through this SM REIT. And everything is possible here. But these tax subsidies are also you can say, and this is the concept now starts with the REIT. I have taken the diagram from the SEBI website of InvIT, Investment Infrastructure Trust, because as you know, money is in short. Especially when you go to rural, money is still on the short. Big cities who don't need the money, money goes there actually, because that is what Kamal Rekhi mentioned. Where you need the money, it finds the way to go somewhere else. That is the problem. And the REIT is solving that actually. In the InvIT Infrastructure Investment Trust, it is like a mutual fund. It is a financing kind of mechanism. So what you do in InvIT is you create a trust. A trust is done by a sponsor. It has two parts. One is a trustee, who is the trust, and then there is an investment manager. So he brings the investment. And then the InvIT acquires the assets. Acquire the assets which are required. In data center, it acquired the real estate, the space, the office space. It can be in tier 2, tier 3, there is an office building to start with. So once you have acquired it, then you can make a SPV, special purpose vehicle, and through that you get listed through SEBI. For making a REIT, SM REIT, you need a license from SEBI. It's a very easy thing to get. Once you have that license, then you identify a property which you want to convert into a data center. and then you go list it actually. Within 6 months you have to do it, and it is doable. And for that you need a project manager. So 2 key persons are required to create a REIT and also to operate it. One is the investment manager and other is the project manager, which is facility management or all that, like data center management. So that is what have been tested in power sector. It has been tested in the highway sector. It has been tested in the real estate, but big buildings, big project of real estate. The normal REIT means the building size have to be minimum 500 crore. It can be anything. And there are 6, 7 REITs already, all are in Bangalore, of course. Then SM REIT, SEBI came out that how to help to create the smaller office spaces, smaller data center, and get funding for them. And that is what is a smaller version of the REIT, where you can have a building of 50 CR also, maximum 500 CR, because after 500 CR, you get overlapping in the main REIT, which will not permit you to do that actually. So that is there. So as I mentioned, 682 district level data center have to be created by government. Central government, as per their policy, have announced 100% subsidy. But for whom? For the state government. So state government have to take that subsidy, convert some of their building into a data center. For that, they either become REIT themselves. That is what the Honorable FM mentioned. All these buildings, government buildings, if you cannot monetize them, convert them into REIT. So in REIT, you can sell it in the open market as units. You can sell it to an investment banker. You can own it if you want, but then you will have to invest in the equipment part actually. Since morning we are saying you need a equipment, like building cost is only 20%. 30% is the equipment, what they call MEP, like electric, doing it, mechanical, electrical, and also plumbing. And rest is the actual equipment, the network infrastructure, the compute infrastructure, storage. So that can come later. If you can make a co-location part also. Like morning TRA chairman was telling, there is a CLS and there is a point of presence of CLS which may be far away, and that can be a data center as well. So that is what you can do actually as a government. Great opportunity to monetize your building in the government. And this is another concept. I have no time, I could have explained it. Is for the telcos. The telcos who need funding, they can use functional separation, what was done by British Telecom actually. This is true. So SM REIT, as I mentioned, it is like high capex data center, they need more money. So SM REIT, this need less money. It can unlock PSU, commercial real estate, as per the budget this time, and it can accelerate net infrastructure sector. And why SM REIT? No time for me, but this is what actually it provides what is called a equity-like unit structure, providing liquidity and investor confidence and tax incentive. Actually, when it has been treated as a equity from the tax point of view, and also it is a equity investment for a retail user as well as institution user, which is backed by the real estate. So it is a equity investment with zero risk. There cannot be any equity investment with zero risk. And guaranteed revenue, you get dividend also quarterly, and you get capital appreciation also, both these. And these figures are less actually. It is now have become 15 to 25% return, and with zero risk, because your money as an investor goes in the real estate. It cannot go burnt out as a OPEX. It has to go into CAPEX. So that is the message I wanted to bring, and this is in the summary. You can read it. Actually, here it is using, it is a combination. Morning was also told that everyone had to collaborate. Digital infra, PSU assets, capital markets, and technology. It uses a technology, what we call tokenization. Tokenization leads to fractional ownership of the property, which is what we do by REIT. And it bridges the liquidity gap as well as the growth. Everything can happen by this instrument. So thank you very much, Anilji, for the opportunity.
Thank you, SNG. Thank you very much. I think what I'll do is I'll do a quick summarization and, is there time for question answer, or we are running late it seems? Well, okay, we'll open up for just 1 or 2 questions.
Thank you. Just there was talk about.
Please introduce
I-
yourself. And
I'm Ujjwal Kumar from CUTS International, a think tank based out of Jaipur. Talk about power for the data centers. And I understand the vision is to give more power through small reactor modules of through nuclear energy and such. So there we have partnership with USA and France. We are trying to get those technology. And so how things are moving as far as data center is concerned with one time, and the small reactors, modular reactors of the is moving on the other side. And secondly, I understand that there is a undersea data center working in China, one such which reduces loss of cooling power. And also there are experiments going on to establish data center in space, which will further reduce cooling power and things like that. So reflects on that particularly from Mr. Ojha, I think. Thank you.
thank you. I'll open it up to the team to do it. But yes, it's a good point, something that I missed in my initial talk, that the sustainability aspect is a very important parameter for the data centers, which I was hoping that people would talk about it. In fact, during the AI summit, we had organized one session which was related to the sustainability part. Before I pass it on to them, the only thing I want to say is, and as Avnish also brought out that in, I think, US, it takes so long, you brought out, is it? That it takes very long to get the power. Somebody said that it takes very long to get the power. Luckily, India is in a better position. We have got renewable energy at somewhere around 41, 42%, and somewhere the data is there. And we are likely, our target is to reach 61% of our demand, total capacity, which is about 840 gigawatts, to be from a renewable energy, this thing. So to an extent, relative to the others, and I think a lot of push has come in the last few years, wherein we've gone for solar and all these aspects. So that is being used. Of course, the other related part to this is, which is globally, I think, and more so in India, that the water consumption is very high. And water is a perennial shortage. I mean, we don't even have water for, the consumption of water in India per capita is much, much, much lower than what it is internationally. So some of the cooling trends or some of the trends that are there to be able to improve the PUE and to be able to get the data centers sustainable, I'd open it to anybody who wants to take it on.
So it's a very valid question. India is in a very nice position at this point in time because the kind of work that has gone into last 10, 15 years about creating the solar panel, solar farm, and a whole lot of other things. I would also take a step back to tell you that whatever said and done, we are still not matured market. A CIO wants to go and see the data center. Why do you want to see the data center? I mean, not to be quoted, but this is how it is. In America, it doesn't happen that way. So data centers are very discrete in location, but here people are insisting on going to and see where their server will be co-located. For example, you have a liberty to put a data center and open its window in evening in Washington to get the ambient temperature and reduce your power cost. Can we do that? No, because dust, this, that, and a whole lot of vaporization which might happen because we are a tropical country. So while we compare ourselves to, say, North America or Europe, we have to keep this also in mind because it's a tropical country, we are a dusty nation, we are still work in progress, there are a whole lot of construction which is happening, and that seeps into. People can open their window and get the ambient, we cannot. Similarly, down south is very tropical in nature. So the kind of humidity that it creates, it's very difficult to cool. And that is how you need to have those cooling technologies to be in place. But still, only PhonePe has gone into, otherwise because it needs money. And people are still not going into because those are customized servers. The HP and Dell were making, but they stopped because there was no demand. So while we are talking about cooling technology, people are not still biting the bullet and invest and go into that sustainable model. So this is one side, consumption side. Demand side, a whole lot of things are happening. In fact, L&T is planning to launch its own satellite 2028, I think. And there was a bid which came wherein from ISRO, that RFP didn't proceed further. I think it was ahead of its time. When people are planning to have in satellite a server, and that can take a lot of geospatial images that can be used for irrigation, agriculture, weather forecasting and all. So this was pilot which was being planned. Not much action is still there. But I've heard that in America and Tesla and all are planning to have, especially China, are planning to have a data center in space. So data center in space means putting your compute and some storage capacity there in space inside a satellite, and the low LEO, the low Earth, the data center will start having those signaling inside the data center and can break out through the fiber network to different use cases. Long way to go, but there is a talk going around that government, after 2-3 years, will start giving loans on agriculture and all, basis these reports. Flood-prone area, what is the soil fertility rates, underlying the soil, what is the moisture, and whole lot of things. So a lot of scientific things will happen, but yeah, consumption is the point, because everywhere, as Gupta ji said, money is very important aspect. So this is it. I hope I have answered your question. Thank you.
Oh, we can at best take one more.
Sir, my question, how is the cloud cost reduction strategy in India different than global in terms of our potential priorities and nation building challenges?
Who would like to take it on?
Okay, nice question. So if you see, the software component is where the money lies. So when you see the entire pyramid, the physical infra gets the lowest. And there you have to put a lot of capex, that is data center. So you're doing a lot of all song and dance we are talking about, which gets the lowest share of wallet. That is a data center. So you need to have power, you need cooling, N+N, and tier 4, tier 3, and whole lot of. But the money lies in the top of the pyramid, which is the application layer, and where we have lagged behind as a nation. For whatever reasons, we have all the capability, but we didn't do much. On the application side, if you see top 10 application layer, India is not there. Why? We need to do soul searching. We produce 1 million engineers every year, more than in the entire world together, but that is how it is. So the software layer is the play where you get the most of money. Once we crack that code, because our talented guys are going outside and working for the others. When we are talking about software, and trust me, there are a lot of good work which is happening on the AI space. If that because we have already missed the cloud cycle, if we can catch on to this AI cycle and can create those cookie cutter verticalized industry solutions, there is that money that can drive more profitability, that can cross-subsidize the infra part. So what we are trying to do is, all the hyperscalers, they have got proprietary licenses, and that is why the Indian cloud providers like us are using the open source, which is more amenable, which is more compatible to different tools. Most of the enterprise are using native, the IPA, SAP HANA, Oracle database. They don't want to migrate now, and they have a challenge. So if you talk about Postgre or you talk about any other open source database, people don't want to trust that, because they have gone far away in their journey to Oracle or to SAP HANA or to whatever. I'm not criticizing anybody, but somebody has to take a call on that. That journey reverse migration has to happen, and which is happening in a limited way. If that happens, cost can be subsidized, cross-subsidized more on the infra part, cloud. So today we claim that our cloud is 35-40% lower apple to apple on a virtual machine level as compared to hyperscalers. Things will improve the more the money comes to the software layer, is my point.
You are very right, 95% of the revenue is with the hyperscaler. Indian player in cloud space is only 5%. But I am interacting with various people. There are a lot of startups and various Indian cloud partners are coming. As one of the case Mr. Oja has just spoken, there is a certain Vigyan Lab. There are multiple cloud partners are coming, and they are providing very good infrastructure at a relatively cheaper price. I think again we have to go a long way, around 3-4 years, there would be a situation different. If we will like move with the same acceleration.
Thank you. Thank you, Geetikar and Avnish, for bringing this out as to the possibility of bringing this Indian software into the thing. Due to paucity of time, I'm not going to do the summing up. I would just thank all the people here for their lovely presentation, diverse subjects, ranging from the policy part of it to the investment part of it. I don't know, SNG, here I think there are more of technical people who maybe you need to go to some financial gathering where you're
My message have gone somewhere else.
Okay, thank you very much, and I request all of you to thank all the things with a big round of applause.
Please give them a
Thank
round of applause. I would request Brigadier Anil Tandon to please present mementos to our speakers. We want to thank them for coming here. Request you to present a memento to Mr. Praveen Sharma, CEO, AA Plus Consultants. A memento for Mr. Kirtikar Ojha of L&T. A memento for Mr. Avnish Vats of Techno Digital. And a memento for Mr. S.N. Gupta, Chairman of DigiGram Foundation. I request all of you to please gather for a group photograph. Thank you, gentlemen. Request you to please take your places off the stage. We will